Hello all. Thank you for taking the time to spend with me right now. My name is Justin Waybrick, and it is April 18th, 2010. This is another segment to Freedom is Not Another Microsoft Application. Today I will be going over a few more issues that I've had a strong belief in lately. These are different things that have recently come about. A lot of them have to do with President Obama. I'm going to talk about how he has plans to expand offshore drilling, the effects of oil drilling on nature and the environment, alternative energy sources such as solar energy, geothermal energy, wind power, all sorts of different kinds. Obama has also okayed nuclear reactors, so we'll go a little bit into depth on those. And I guess I'll talk about a little bit on the Republicans versus Democrats. But I wanted to start off today with a quote that I have heard once, and it is, the best way to correctly perform an illusion is to allow the viewer to become distracted by noise and routine. Therefore, they will disregard the illusion itself. And this kind of has to deal with the whole topic of today about kind of corruption in politics and the whole battle and struggle we're having between the two worlds, the people and politicians. But I will no longer be reading. I will have a friend of mine read. She has similar beliefs as mine, and we've decided to use some more perspectives of other people, so she will be reading their viewpoints. So I will allow her to take over for a minute and start off on the offshore drilling.
President Barack Obama announced a plan to expand oil drilling off U.S. coast, drawing protests from green groups, but charges by Republicans it did not go far enough. The decision was a reversal of Obama's early 2008 campaign strategy, when he argued that lifting curbs on offshore drilling would take years to have an impact and would not provide enough sufficient extra supplies to be justified. The president's plan, part of a comprehensive energy strategy, would see new tracts of the Atlantic off the Virginia coast open to exploration, and expand leases for prospecting in the Gulf of Mexico off the coast of Florida. Scientific research off Alaska in the Chukchi and Beaufort Seas will also be authorized, but 4 pending lease sales in those waters that were approved under a plan of the former administration of President George W. Bush will be canceled. Exploration will be barred in Bristol Bay in the eastern Bering Sea, a crucial habitat for sockeye salmon and other wildlife. In the short term, as we transition to cleaner energy sources, we'll have to make tough decisions about opening new offshore areas for oil and gas development in ways that protect communities and coastlines, Obama said. Obama portrayed the decision as part of a comprehensive energy plan designed to wean the United States of foreign energy sources from volatile areas and develop a new green economy. The bottom line is this: given our energy needs, in order to sustain economic growth, produce jobs, and keep our businesses competitive, we're going to need to harness traditional sources of fuel even as we ramp up production of new sources of renewable, homegrown energy. The announcement comes at a time when Democratic plans to pass cap-and-trade legislation to cut greenhouse gas emissions face uncertainty in Congress as the economic crisis lingers in a midterm election year. Republicans, who have marched in lockstep to oppose almost all of Obama's domestic agenda, back wider exploration of untapped U.S. reserves, and adopted a "drill, baby, drill" mantra during the 2008 presidential campaign. But party leaders argued Wednesday that Obama's plan was too limited in scope, while some energy industry advocates complained the administration was not lifting a ban on oil prospecting off the Northeast and Pacific coast. Today's announcement is a step in the right direction, but a small one that leaves enormous amounts of American energy off limits, said Senate Republican Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. Environmentalists also criticized Obama's plan, some warning that the prospect of future drilling in the Beaufort and Chukchi seas could threaten prime polar bear habitats. Related
All right, well, thank you there. We got one perspective from Stephen Collinson. He wrote this. It was titled "Obama Plan Extends Offshore Oil Drilling." So, yeah, where do we begin? President Obama originally, before pre-election, he wasn't. I guess he wasn't opposed to offshore drilling, but he really said that he did not believe this would be something that he would do in the near future. And basically, within a year and a half going into his election, he has chosen to make this one of his number one priorities. It just, with the amount of disasters that have occurred in offshore drilling, I mean, there's been 41 major ones in the last 33 years, and those are just major, releasing, millions or hundreds of thousands of gallons of oil into natural habitats, killing everything in its path. And for 30 years, the presidential and congressional directives banned offshore drilling. They've really been putting this off, and I don't see why this has become such a priority at this stage. The Obama plan enables drilling 50 miles from Virginia and Alaskan Cook Inlet within 2 years, and the Alaskan Cook Inlet, it houses quite a few animals that are very precious to our society and our environment. I mean, we here, specifically where most of us lived, are not affected by these animals because they don't exist there. But that's what makes them so beautiful to our environment, is that they don't exist in many parts of the world, and it's that these animals they're dying, and we just don't care about them. One of the animals that's going to be suffering from this oil drill is the beluga whale. Beluga whales are a unique group of white whale whose numbers have drastically declined in the past 2 decades due to pressures raising from pollution to increased ship traffic. And in 2008, they were actually passed under an Endangered Species Act, making them listed as an endangered species, so we would take extra precaution to protect them. But this drilling is occurring within 50 miles of where these whales live, so it doesn't really seem like we're doing too much to protect them. There's so much with this. It's sad to see. The cost of oil, just to drill offshore, because they have to drill so deep. It's at least 10,000 feet below water, and to rent these operation vehicles, it costs over $500,000 per day, and for the supply that we have offshore, it just seems so minimal for the expense that it's going to take to do this. We'll take a short break, and we'll come back with the second part to this. Thank you.